Cool, we're in.
Cool. So, do you want me to just take off where we left off before we hit record?
Yeah, just start with a quick intro.
Cool. So, my name's Dan West. I currently am living in Bali. I've been here for 11 months. This is my current base, I would say. I have a few bases around the world, and yeah, I'm fortunate to call Bali my home for now. I've been in the online space for about 5 years. But what really started my entrepreneurial journey was I was running music events in Australia, and I was building in real life communities. And so I sort of had this skill that I developed through building that community up, hosting these events, even creating like Facebook events, right? I don't know if anyone's old enough for Facebook events, but we basically write these Facebook events, and I'd write all the copy. Didn't know it was copy at the time. I just thought it was, event information. And I'd really try and rev people up to get excited to come. People would always turn up at the parties, and they'd be like, "Oh, I love the event name. I love the event info. I've been excited for this all week." And that was where I didn't realize it, but I was really developing quite a strong skill set in writing and developing that kind of like ability to not only bring people together, but to really get people excited, get people to take action. And by the way, just a quick one. Is there any background noise here?
A bit, but it's not too bad.
Yeah, it's okay. I might have to move rooms because I got people downstairs. It's like it's 11 o'clock at night, but we've got a bit of a social hub at our villa. And yeah, I sort of like developed this ability to move people with writing, but never really knew what it was. Went through a few failed business models, got into NFTs, used the skills to launch an NFT project, which that was the moment I realized how much money there was in the online space. We made $250,000 in a matter of months, and that was when I was like, I'm all in on the online thing. And eventually launched a personal brand, managed to, with not that many followers, to be honest with you, with a few thousand followers, managed to scale to 5-figure months. And really just at the moment, what I mainly do is I mainly help people to launch offers. I help people to write offers for big creators. So I'll collaborate with bigger creators. I'll write their offers for them. I'll launch it with them. And I work on different sort of like partnership deals. So I've got this kind of like agency, freelance to some extent part of my business. But then I've also got the consulting and the coaching side of my business that enables me to scale my impact really, and help people. Like, I've helped everyone, from creators to business owners to beginners to people that are a lot further ahead in terms of revenue than me. Jack and I have done some stuff together, and I guess that's why I've ended up here. So it's a pleasure to be here. I hope that gives you guys a quick rundown of where I came from. And I'm sure we'll dive into maybe like some of the struggles and how we figured out some things along the way throughout this chat.
Awesome. Appreciate that background. And I think your expertise is going to be super valuable to the 4 dudes that are here right now. So maybe what we can do, because I want this to be interactive. I don't want it to just be like podcast. We could do a podcast another time. For you guys that are in this call, Adrian, Eric, Sam, and Jesse, I would love to open the floor just for you guys to ask questions. And maybe as you ask a question, understand that Dan has a lot of expertise in the domain of client acquisition, offer creation, marketing, positioning, all these things that are usually pretty big struggles in the beginning of like, what's my positioning? What's my offer? How do I get it to the right people? How do I find the right people? How do I do outreach? So as you ask your question, I'd also say a little bit about yourself. What are you currently working on? What are you writing about? What is your brand? What is your current offer? Where are you stuck in your offer? And yeah, I think Dan's going to be able to provide some really good insights.
Yeah, those are good prompts, definitely. And sort of like run it like a bit of a coaching session.
See who wants to go first here.
Whoever goes first is a natural leader.
There's Jesse.
I'm still just getting my brain going here with my bean juice. So here in Canada on the West Coast, it's 7 a.m. So thank you, Mr. West, for staying up late for us so that I don't have to get up even earlier.
All good,
But
Jesse.
I'm Jesse, and I have been dipping my toes into the online creator world for a little over a year. I guess in previous years, I was dabbling with YouTube and dabbling with various things here and there. And then my background is quite varied. My first creator career was my magician career from age 10 to 15. I was doing magic shows. And so now what I'm doing, I've tried some experiments. My first cohort experiment. Well, even before the cohort, I was trying to teach some web design stuff online, and I found some people who were interested, but I wasn't charging much. So it's kind of, it's not too hard to find quote unquote clients when you're like offering free trials and stuff like that. So it was a good experiment that I learned from. And then I ran a cohort, I called it the Creative Wayfinder, that I ran a group of 8 through. And that was sort of applying my depth psychology and Jungian sort of interests to help people with basically creative unblocking. And since the Creative Wayfinder, I've sort of been unsure in some ways of what's next for my personal brand. And so I'm sort of, I'm sort of developing an idea, but what I'm also working on is managing the team who's putting on the Creator Economy Convention. So I decided 3 months ago, I'd really love there to be an in-person event for the Creator Economy and for a lot of these people who I'm following along with to come and speak. And so Jack actually is one of the speakers at the event. And that's next June. So in the meantime, we're building up sort of a content ecosystem for it. We have a shared Substack for all the speakers to contribute to. Jack's been hosting spaces on X that we're turning into the Living Internet podcast. And then I'm going to launch a cohort, I think is what it'll be, in January. I don't quite know how to describe it yet, but I have a mentor who I did an 8-week program with him last year in somatic therapy practitioner training, and learned a lot. He helped me a lot with healing my back pain. And him and I are going to run something together on the community that we're building for the convention buildup. So we have a circle community called the Living Internet Alliance, and then we have the convention in June. And so on the community, I envision us building up sort of an ecosystem of like quests, and then eventually like free challenges that people can participate in, and then also some paid curriculum. So Logan, the person I'll be collaborating on some kind of launch with, and I think we'll host a course in that circle group, and then we'll host live calls. And so I guess maybe you could help me out a bit by sharing about the development of your offers, or maybe you're hearing a question that I'm not quite formulating even in what I'm saying, because what I'm trying to figure out is, I guess, how to construct this next offer. And I know I'm a little vague about what the offer is, because it's okay. Logan, he's doing the somatic therapy practitioner training. He has a lot more expertise than I do. We could sort of frame it that way. We could sort of frame it where like I'm seeking even deeper work with him, but like publicly almost. And then we're together sharing both of our expertise. But part of it, I think, for me is a lot of imposter syndrome would be an issue. So as you develop an offer, how do you start to step into confidence that you can, write some copy for your offer that packs a punch and sells people, and then deliver on that? How do you find that clarity of the offer?
Well, first of all, you've got to decide what the outcome is. So like, what's the transformation? Like, what are you helping them really achieve?
Yeah, for me, part of my goal is to help people achieve kind of a holistic state of wellness and clear, purposeful direction in life. So it's kind of a very grand goal to help people with. But so the means of getting there, I guess, is then what I have to narrow down more, right?
Yeah, like what's your process for getting them there? Like, give me 3 steps.
Yeah, that's the trouble, is I feel like with the creative unblocking program, the creative wayfinder thing I did,
I like the sound of that.
Shadow
by the
work.
way.
Thank you. It was cool. It was sort of reminiscent of The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. Just a lot less reading material. It was like a little bit of reading material in 8 modules, and then calls. Everyone really mostly appreciated the calls. Like half the people said they always felt behind on the written, like doing the actual lessons. And some of them probably never finished it, but they got enough value out of the calls that they didn't worry about that. And the calls, I half improvised. I prepared a lot. I did, I would research deeper on the topics, like flow state, for example. And we'd do a day where we're talking about flow state, but we're sort of bridging all these topics together to sort of form a cohesive vision of like how to have agency over your creative consciousness and go into different states or utilize different states of mind effectively. Finding out what's blocking you often gives you the thing that's blocking you, often ends up giving you a source of power if you can tap into it. So man, yeah, you're really challenging my morning brain, but someone had to step in and ask a question. So yeah, I guess my method, I liked doing the creative wayfinder. So that will be part of my approach still, is like there's a lot of journaling prompts that I think people should be doing. Writing is, I think all of us here probably know, a very powerful tool. So probably a lot of people who would be my target audience haven't really found that out yet. Haven't really done a lot of that.
Do you mind if I ask you a question?
Yeah, no, I don't mind.
So like, what offer have you launched in the past that's made the most money?
Oh, well, just, I don't know if it counts, but like freelance web design, just doing client work that way. Or, well, actually, I mean, I guess one-on-one of that same type of work, like the creative wayfinder cohort, just hosting a container for people to do psychological work as an untrained therapist, essentially.
I think we're all untrained therapists at the end of the day, so I wouldn't worry about that. Like what? So you don't have to name like say numbers, but like, would you say that the creative wayfinder, like that container, was that profitable for you?
Not really. Not But with the time commitment involved, I would say no. It could be
What were you charging for that? I'm curious.
$120. I was very public about it being like very much an experiment. Like, hey, this is attempt one, right? Which probably drew some of the people. And there's a couple of people who were friends of mine.
How many people jumped in? 8.
8, yeah.
So why didn't you launch that again?
That's a good question. The funny thing, I can't explain entirely. Another opportunity came along with someone and some people I wanted to work with that was going to be maybe along a similar vein, working together, launching cohorts. And that was like a too good to be true sort of opportunity. And then it did fall through. But in the meantime, I sort of halted all my plan. Like I was building up to launching another run of the Creative Wayfinder. That's a good question. I don't know if anything's really stopping me from doing something very close to that again. I think that you're kind of nailing it. Because that is what excites me. Yeah, maybe you kind of just got me there. I'll have to sit with that and do some writing this morning, but I think like the creative unblocking, it was cool. Like one guy said like his back pain mostly healed. It was like, okay, like this actually mattered to people. So that fires me up. That actually is exciting. I like doing something that matters to people. Okay.
Yeah. What might have happened is, you ran something, it succeeded. It was an experiment, so you didn't like charge that much for it, but like it was a successful experiment. It's been validated, and people got cool results. So like, what I would do if I was you, and I mean, I guess it's more like a question. Like, do you think you could go and find those people and say, hey, I know the Creative Wayfinder. Like, it's been a minute since we did it, but like, would you be happy to share your experience either in a written or a video testimonial? Because I think I'm going to open it back up, and if you're happy to do it, you guys can jump back in for the same price as before, or like a discount, get those guys to sign up again. And with the next guys, I would just double the price, and just keep doubling it, like, and eventually you get to the point where it's a thing. I think your problem wasn't that the offer wasn't good. Your problem wasn't the results. Your problem is you didn't quite know how to continue it and market it. So like, all you have to do is just go again and get those testimonials, and it's validated, dude. Like, I would just follow your heart and follow your energy, and if you loved it, like that's where the money actually is. Like Gary Halbert said, the money is where the enthusiasm is. So
Right.
if you're enthusiastic about it, I don't want to make it all about money. Like, there's more to life than that, but like, usually the purpose, the money, they align very, very fucking nicely. So I think you're on the right track, dude.
Hey, thanks, Dan. That was super helpful, man. You surprised me. Got some revelation.
You're welcome, man. Thank you.
Epic. Yeah, Dan's a wizard with this stuff. Like, it's very cutting, just straight to it, no bullshit. It's really valuable stuff. I mean, my 2 cents, just to add a little bit, would be like, take what worked and iterate on it. And if you're going to pair with Logan, who's more of like an actual trained therapist, that's great for more authority. But you don't have to fake, or you don't have to feel that imposter syndrome about being a therapist, because you can just stay in your own zone of genius. And then you collaborate on this, probably charge much higher ticket as well.
Yeah. I'm sure I'll run a couple other thoughts and ideas by you over the next bit. So thanks, Jack.
Cool. Eric, I think you had your hand up next.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me well?
Yep.
Good. So my question is, I'm running a small offer and I want some free clients to taste my offer and break that imposter syndrome. And I don't know, I it's that I don't have any so much answers on my DMs. Like I'm posting and I'm reaching out, but I still like I don't have any. It's free. I don't understand. I say that it's free, but it's still people don't want to book the calls. I might be doing something wrong, maybe in my message. I'm not really sure what I'm doing wrong.
Using a script.
Hello? Yes?
Are you using a script?
Yes, the last part, my CTA is a script, but the first part, it's not.
Are you giving them a reason to act now?
Yes, if you wanted to, I can show like how I'm approaching. But I'm basically, I start the message like saying, hey, I've seen that you are working on this, and I want to give you a 20 min clarity call to diagnose what you can improve on your brand, so you can like stop the blocks on your brand. And yeah, I mean, um, no one is replying to me. I mean, I just reached to 25 founders, but it's still right. It's I don't I don't quite get it. Maybe it's my offer. Maybe it's the CTI that is not compelling, or
What's
it's
the
just
offer?
matter of time. Hmm?
What's the offer?
The offer?
Yeah.
Hmm.
No, no, no.
How can I have
yeah.
a good offer then, or
No, no, say,
something that?
I asked you what is the offer?
What is the offer? Okay,
Yes.
so the offer in general, or my lead magnet to go to the offer, because I offer my lead magnet. It's a 20-minute call to find some blind spots on their brand. For example, I most focus on on their message, on their post, who attract clients or people, because I realized that so many like accounts, they talk too broadly, or they don't like target someone, their ICP. So I'm helping them to understand how to craft their post more compelling way. So I basically saying, hey, I'm gonna give you a 20-minute call to help you understand how to write a good messaging that is aligned with your brand, with your ideas, and with your ICP. So in that call, I list them I listen to my offer that is a 5-day clarity sprint that I cover ICP, offer, uh, messaging, outreach, and content. And yeah, so yeah. I mean, I feel that it's a really good offer for me. I do feel that it's very compelling. In 5 days, having clarity on those things are it's. I mean, for me, it will be a no-brainer. But I mean, it's maybe that I'm not crafting my outreach pretty well, or I'm not crafting the message to reach out well. I don't know.
Hang on. Are you getting them to a clarity call, or are you getting them into a 5-day challenge funnel sprint?
You mean the product or the lead magnet? The lead magnets are like a diagnostic call to check their brand, to check how they post, what's the reason of the post, of the banner, of their bio, and to give them some insights on how or where to improve. And yes, the 5-day is not a challenge, it's more a clarity call, or it could be a challenge as well. But I want to give it just pretty straight 5 days and a map, a content map to follow, and so they can iterate and learn, okay, so this works, this is not, I have to change this, and start to make it more compelling. Yeah.
I think there's too much complexity in this. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I think that's where, like, that's the number one thing is, like, I don't really understand it. Like, so the funnel needs to be as simple as possible. So, like, if you're inviting them onto a clarity call, you will then invite them onto the clarity call, at which point you will then use that clarity call to sell them. Like, there doesn't need to be this 5-day stuff. The other version is you are just getting them into a 5-day challenge, which is something that Jack knows about challenges and challenges that I've run in the past. 7 days actually is usually what I go for. Dan Coe will do like a 30-day challenge. Like, everyone's probably had a blast on one of those. You know, so it's like getting clear, like, I've tested a lot of different funnels and I know that just simplicity wins. So, like, are you getting them onto a call where you diagnose their problems, and then on that call you're saying, hey, by the way, I've got this one-to-one offer, I've got this consulting offer? Or are you getting them into like a 5-day challenge? You've got to choose about eliminating things. That's number one. Number two is, sounds like if you are trying to get people on a call, what's happening is people aren't booking the call because you're not giving them a reason to act now. Like, hey, I've only got this many spots. Or, hey, do you mind booking now because I'm about to leave my desk. Something that just makes them book the call there and then. And then the third piece of the puzzle is, and so those are things that I want you to go and decide and actually implement. This is the last thing. This is a decision you need to make.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think is the difference between challenge and, would you say that challenge is more compelling, that attract more clients, instead of, I say, a sprint, like 5 days sprint?
Yeah,
Why
like
would you choose like challenge or sprint or 5 days thing?
They're the same. They're the same thing. So you basically get people into a container. Hey, it's $50. Hey, it's $47. Hey, it's $27. Hey, it's $97, whatever. It's 5 days. We're going to team up and we're just going to execute on these 5 different things. The one thing I would say is the challenge that you're trying to build with these guys, by the sounds of it, that thing, you're trying to get too many things done. There's no way they're going to be able to master content, offer, message it. Like, it's almost like there's too many. You're trying to get them to do too much. So it's like, just isolate one of those and make the challenge about that. Be easier to deliver as well, because you're not trying to like squeeze in everything, you know. So I would just isolate one of those things and hold the other 4 things for your main offer, for your main thing. Like you got to leave some stuff off the table. They need to pay for that stuff, but you can give them the first breadcrumb, and you can do that, or you can stick with the clarity call and sell them into the main offer later. So it's like, at the end of the day, you know, which funnel do you want to run? Either way, at the end of the clarity call or at the end of the challenge, you're going to make them you're going to ask them if they want to take the next step with you. Doesn't matter how you do it, just choose one or the other. And then the last thing is, like giving them a reason to listen to you. Like, why should they do it with you? Like, why not do it with someone else? Like, why do it with you in particular? And like, I'm actually going to challenge you right now to tell me why. Why should I do the challenge with you, or why should I jump on a clarity call with you and not someone else?
Mm. The thing is that I wanted to have more testimonials as soon as possible. So for me, the only way to get a good testimonial, it's, well, I think that it's getting some tangible results that I can say, okay, before I was here, and now after these 5 days, I'm right here. So it really worked, something like that. Instead of 30 days or a month, a month offer, right? So I just think that, for example, identifying their ICP or crafting an offer, it's not enough to give them tangible results. That's why I wanted to give it every day something very specific on how to craft it, and so they can after iterate and say, okay, this worked, this don't. But I mean, that's why I wanted to condense everything in a small time instead of just giving just one in the whole week, because I don't feel it's gonna make so much impact in them. I don't know.
Like, let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
If I try and teach you the complete skill set of football, soccer, and we have 7 days, right? And I'm like, day one, we're going to do shooting. Day three, we're going to do, day two, we're going to do tackling. Day three, we're going to do throw-ins. Day four, we're going to do corners. And we can only spend like an hour a day on each one. We've got an hour in a day. Like, at the end, you might have like a loose idea of how to basically play football. But what if we just spent 7 days on tackling? Like, you'd be an amazing defender. You'd be one of the best defenders, probably in town. But if I just teach you a little bit of everything, it's not gonna have that much impact, really. Like, I want to make you really good at making offers. I want to get you really good at DMs. I want to get you like focus on one thing, one area, and then you can promise a result in that aspect. So it's like you're actually going to get a better result. Like, you can promise them something tangible. So for example, I've run a challenge in the past. It was like, my initial challenge was, hey, look, we're going to book 7 sales calls in 7 days. It was basically about DMs and offer. Like, that was what we focused on. It wasn't DMs, offer, content, email marketing, like, lead magnet creation, long form tweets, threads, Instagram, YouTube. Like, there's no way we can even cover all of that like in 7 days. So you just isolate on the one problem, one part of your offer, one of the problems you solve, and you just double down on that. You're going to get them a much bigger result, way bigger result, because it's going to be a meaningful result. See what I mean? Like, you're not just teaching them a little bit of everything and hoping that they do all right. Like, what can you realistically promise them? Not a lot. But if you go all in on that one problem, solve that problem so freaking well that they're like, holy shit, what's the next thing? Like, he's just sorted me out on this one thing. I need to get into his next program in order to get access to all the other shit. And that is why you focus on the one thing. Otherwise, it's a shallow, you're gonna have a shallow result, a shallow end goal, like a end point. So you need to go, that's why I opt for focusing on the one thing. And that's why I recommend all of my clients focus on the one thing too.
But
real quick, Eric,
sorry.
I think as well with this, because Dan asked you the question of like, why should I work with you, right? Like, where's the credibility? Where's the authority? Why should somebody be like, yes, I really want to work with you? Getting results, testimonials is going to be key. I think you might be able to help me actually in some way to help me amplify a coaching business through a mechanism and then use that leveraged result as a testimonial and authority for your own offer. We don't have to talk about it now, but I'll text you after. Whether it's me or not, like, I think the question to come back to is like, why should somebody choose me? What are my results, right? And maybe you book a bunch of calls and that's the result. But I think it's really good advice of narrow down on one problem in that challenge and master it, have authority in it, and then upsell people to a more holistic coaching program.
Thanks, Jack. And the question now is, if, for example, you offer them that you help them to book 7 calls in 7 days, but you understand but I mean, I feel that it's, you have to understand that their brands have to be aligned with their offer. Like, to make them book calls, they have to have a really target ICP, a good offer, and a system to outreach. So you had to address those things as well, right? Or is just you help them to outreach people, and it didn't matter the ICP, their messaging, or their offer?
The challenge was called 0 to 1. People weren't doing anything. Honestly, it was like, let's just get you doing something. And one guy made 11 grand, $11,000 in 6 days because he wasn't doing enough. He didn't have a system. So I just was like, here's a DM system. Here's a challenge, accountability. Here is a script. Here's how to refine your offering and your positioning, and go and do it. If anything, it was like, I'm just trying to get people to move, and just, here's all the tools you need. Here's your mission. Go and do it together. That's why it worked well. That's why people did well, and that's why I like challenges.
Well, I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that you didn't cover ICP, offer, messaging, many things on that call, and still they got those results. Just
People overthink it, dude. Like 99% of people in this game are just overthinking everything. Like, just do something.
Yeah.
Make more offers. Like, for real, it's the difference between the winners and the losers. The ICP stuff comes later. I've got a client right now who's got 110,000 followers. He's never had an ICP. Now we're talking about his ICP. Now he wants to start refining everything. You just got to do shit. like stop overthinking it and just take action. And like, all that technical stuff can come later. You know, we're going to write a VSL. Okay, let's get really clear on the target. Let's get really clear on the ICP. Like, this is all kind of like technical stuff that's valuable. But most people, and probably most of the people in this room, you need to stop overthinking, you need to start acting. And that's basically how I got to where I am. Yeah, you might be listening to me right now like, hey, he has some knowledge. Honestly, knowledge is useless. Wisdom is very, very valuable. Wisdom comes from making mistakes, from taking action, comes from experience. So like, it was basically like 0 to 1. Guys, here's a script. Here's your mission. Go. People started making a lot of money. Surprise, surprise.
Do you think followers matter?
Yes, but I think belief matters more, and I think confidence matters more. Like, sometimes people will message me and I can just tell they're experienced. It doesn't matter about their follower count. Vibe and confidence is very, very important. And I can just tell who's a bro. And by a bro, I mean someone that gets it. I don't need to look at the follower count. I just know when I speak to them that this person moves with confidence. This person doesn't need me, doesn't need my approval, isn't intimidated by my 6,000 followers, which to them seems a lot, but like, reality isn't, you know? And I respect anyone that respects themselves and carries themselves with respect. So that's my personal perspective. I think followers 100% help because you have immediate access to people. But you can just get good at cold DMs. You can just commit to getting more eyeballs. You can commit to getting followed by people like Jack Moses, like people like Dakota Robertson. You know, you can build relationships with these people. They'll follow you. Now you have trust. You know, like it's more about commitment, mindset, and determination. Win at all costs. Like that's what 0 to 10K a month is all about. And you can refine all the other stuff later. You know, like I said, my client Connor, 110,000 followers on Instagram, never had an ICP, makes 45K a week. That's the reality.
It's interesting. That's interesting. Maybe, well, I just feel that when you don't have a ICP and you just talk to everyone, you can get a broad audience, but your funnel it's less. And when you target someone, you could have less audience, but more accurate and more precisely funnel. But I mean,
You're right.
I think.
You are completely right. Like what you're saying is true. But there's the most important thing is, like, if you read The Creative Act by Rick Rubin, he's like, the audience comes last. Like, you make content for yourself, what you enjoy. You know, I realized this thing, right? People like you more when you find yourself funny. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed that. Like, when you find your own jokes funny, people like you more because they're like, this person just lives in their own world. And I want to be around people like that. You need to be the same with your content. I don't care if people like it. I don't care if they don't. You know, it's like I'm being me. I'm attracting people like me. The target audience is anyone that vibes with me. Where I get specific is when they read my offer. That's where I'm thinking ICP is really important with when we write the offer. That's where ICP is very important. So I need to know exactly, you know, who this is for. But the content a lot of the time for me is, do I enjoy it? Yeah. It's about me, you know. And sometimes the best content I write isn't structured the best. It's like just so raw and unapologetic. And you look at any of the best actual like people who pitch themselves as like copywriters and they have brands on X, they don't talk like normal creators. They talk how they speak and people love it. They get like 400 likes. They're making lots of money, you know, like it's like the ICP is important, but they on Twitter or when you're creating content, they kind of come last. But when you write the offer, it becomes very important. So that's where you're completely right. Or when you're writing content you want to convert, the ICP is important. But most people just need to actually do more, post more, be more themselves before they even think about that. They need to actually get attention, and they actually need to, be vibing with people in the DMs.
So you mean do more about DMing people, like connecting with others?
All of it.
All of it.
Yeah. And like, look, this goes a little bit against my brand positioning because, like, for me, I like being outdoors. I like surfing. I like being in nature. I like being tanned. But in the beginning, like, just put in a few extra hours, write a few extra comments, send more DMs, get on networking calls. These are all like extracurricular things that you should be doing. So, you know, 2 years later, you end up like Jack. Like, guy's got one of the strongest brands possibly on the internet, and he's playing college football the whole time. You know, so just get it done. Like I tell my clients who are more beginner, I'm like, just get it done. You know, it won't be long till you're at the level I'm at, where you don't have to do the comments anymore. You don't have to build the network out. People sort of come to you because of the leverage you built at the beginning.
Well, before.
Yeah.
I just need to do more outreach. Then I just have to put more out there. And yeah, thank you. Thank you, then.
No worries. Yeah, I would say just keep doing what you're doing, just like up it, and don't look at it as like, don't be intimidated by upping it. Look at it as like, you know, the coach is saying, just up, you can do better. Like, and that's it. Like, do you want to do better or not? And if the answer is yeah, you just do better. Simple as that. It's just a decision. You've got to make the switch.
It's amazing. Two things to add in that is, one, like you said, I'd narrow that challenge down. I think it's going to be really helpful. And two is be intelligent and strategic with who you're targeting for that. Because if you go target these founders with like 10K followers, 20K followers, they're probably gonna be like, okay, unless you're really able to come into my business and be a service worker and solve a problem for me, they're probably not gonna want to take the time to hop on a call, right? Their time's very valuable. Who is more likely to have these narrow problems of positioning, branding, outreach, offer creation, whatever your challenge is gonna be? It's gonna be the beginners, right? So instead of targeting the founders with a lot of followers, like they don't have the time, they're probably not the right position for you right now. They might be eventually, but like what I would do, go through Dan Coe's comments on Twitter and just hunt for people that are just beginning and have no idea what they're doing, because you're a few steps ahead of them. And now you can help them basically skip 2 to 3 months in their process that you've learned by experience, right? The wisdom like you talked about. So that's my 2 cents to add.
So yeah, sorry, but I mean that's a really good point, and I've realized that I have a friend that have over 100,000 followers on X, and don't even monetize that audience, and that's how then say that it's not about maybe the followers, right? So that's where I feel that it's like 50-50. You could have a lot of followers but it still don't monetize, and you can have like 200 followers like Will, that he has like 80 100 followers, but I don't know, and he monetized his brand. So how do you know which one it's that person and who is not? Because you can also help them, right? Well, I don't know.
Yeah, you got to get into conversations with them and ask them questions, right? Why are you building a brand? What are you building? How's it going? What are you struggling with? And then you can identify the holes, and then ideally your offer is positioned in those holes. Another thing for you too to think about is, like, you have a friend with 100K followers that's not monetizing. Can you go help him monetize? Right? Can you collaborate with him, capitalize on his audience? Now you have a huge case study and testimonial. Leverage that. So something else to think about.
He's like those that they don't show their face. There's not a personal brand. It's more psychological. So yeah,
That's fine. It doesn't matter. Those accounts can
it
make
doesn't
money,
matter.
right? You launch a free 7-day, or not a free 7-day challenge. You launch a 7-day challenge. You launch a low ticket info product on psychology around that brand's niche. Like, there's ways to monetize that account, even if he's anonymous.
Yeah, I would you know, with your skill set, like honestly, it sounds like you could smash some kind of ghostwriting, copywriting offer. You know, like if you really wanted the credibility, like to get coaching clients, like why not go get crazy results for people with your skill set? You know, it's almost like what strikes me, Eric, is almost like you've got a really strong skill set and you're wondering why no one wants it. Like you do, like you're talking about ICP, you're talking about quite advanced stuff. Like I say, I have clients who've done this without even knowing this stuff. Well, like maybe what would make people listen is if you went and applied this to someone with an audience, like your friend, someone that needs this help. You go and get crazy results for them, and then you come back to the market being like, yeah, I took this guy to 50K a month. yeah, I helped this guy make 20K a month, MRR, whatever it is. And so like I'm constantly on the lookout for big partners, because if I find the person who I can help or can pay me a lot of money or whatever to do something for them, that's just a bigger case study. So when I then come to the market with a consulting offer, or I want to market my consulting offer more, I'm like, hey, look at all these big numbers I've helped people make, and look at this testimonial from them. I'm a money making machine, and the proof's in the pudding. You can't argue with these numbers. And if people are like, well, did you coach him with that? No, I did it. So I know the system works, and I'm going to give it to you. So like what I'm saying is, it's very easy when you have those skills. It's very easy to find people who need them. So, you know, ghostwriting or back-end marketing systems, getting an amazing case study will give you crazy leverage. It goes back to that question I asked you earlier, like, why should I listen to you? Well, help this guy do X, Y, Z. You know, I help this guy do some massive numbers. I help this guy get this many followers, whatever it is. But I would consider offering this as a service, because it seems to me like you've got your skill set outranks the current level of authority you have in the market. It's almost like you actually have this much authority, but the market it perceives you as having this much authority, right? How do you up your authority? Find someone that goes, I like your skills. You get results for them, bang. Now, now you're gaining like real perception of authority once you market those results. That's just something to consider. I would consider it because I feel like you've got the skill set for that. And we're thinking about the long game. Most people just think about tomorrow. Oh, I don't want to do that because I want to be a consultant today. It's like, get the results, and being a consultant will be far easier, and get paid. Like start getting paid sooner as well.
Yeah, and I think Eric, it might be me. It might be the perfect fit. So we'll talk. I'll send you a message.
Already. Sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because testimonials, right? I feel that it's the only thing that it's missing on my to go from beginner to intermediate that thing. It's getting more testimonials, getting more results for everyone else. I mean, everything that I'm tasting, all my offer is what I apply to me. It's the system that I'm using it. But of course, I need to taste it on the market as well, right?
You need to find somebody, from my perspective, with already who has credibility and authority to leverage the skill set. That's how you get your own authority and credibility. Now we have like 5 minutes before it's going to hit midnight for Dan, so I don't want to keep him up, super late here. I know Adrian, appreciate that. I know Adrian, Sam, and David joined late here. We could probably do one more question. And Jesse and Eric, I appreciate you guys like having the courage to share exactly where you're at. And hopefully you see like, okay, when I make a courageous action, when I ask for help, I get a lot of insight and answer that can really reorient me. So yeah, if we want to go to either Adrian, Sam, or David, we could go one more personal question for Dan here before we hop off. If no one wants to ask, that's also okay. We could hop off a little bit early.
Don't be shy, fellas. I'm only going to grill you. No, I'm joking.
I mean, if nobody wants to go, we could be good, or I could go as well, if we think that'd be fun. Is that cool, Dan?
Fucking, you bet, man.
All right. Okay, so this is actually going to kind of tie into the Eric thing. So this is very interesting call that's happening right now. So I'll give you a broad view of the ecosystem without going into too much detail. Will and Will Mines, are launching a group consulting offer, basically a group coaching offer with him and myself, a 3-month container, monetize your personal brand in 90 days or increase your revenue to 5K, 10K a month. That is a 3-month offer for 5,500. That is the main coaching offer right now in the ecosystem. And we just started sending outreach for it yesterday, just like a very intimate coaching container, essentially, consulting container. Where you come into mind, Eric, is I've been having a hunch that there are a lot of whales out there, like CEOs, founders, LinkedIn type of people with a lot of responsibility on their shoulders, a lot of capital that I could help in a container to increase their energy, essentially, which is going to help every area of their life. So those are like, the second one is not actually in play yet. It's an idea. The first one is in motion with Will. The offer is built, the call's set up, the copy is all set up, the container is set up. That's where we're at with it right now. We're sending outreach to pretty much using the system that you taught us. And guys, Dan runs these challenges. They're fucking amazing. I was like, how is this $49? This was like cohort level value, thousands of dollars worth of value. So we're running your playbook for that offer. It's called Creator Accelerator. So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Sounds like there's a heart offer and a head offer, you know. I would straight up make the offer like money, financial promise, 5 to 10K a month, whatever it is you're promising, as tangible. Monetize your personal brand in 90 days. It does depend on the ICP a little bit. Like if they're complete beginners, they might be happy with just like monetizing the brand. You can just like be like, hey, where are you at? maybe just a ghostwriting offer would sort you out. Maybe, you know, something more, rather than putting all the stress on them to make 5 to 10K a month. But if they're already in motion, you know, they've already monetized, you know, maybe the 5 to 10K a month would be valuable. So just take your pick on that. Just my instinct says the money, but sometimes a bit of a ball ache to deliver if they're complete beginners. Like I think you've got a strong enough brand to say monetize your personal brand and just sort of give them an offer like that. The next thing is like, well, if you wanted to do the energy offer, do you have a process?
How it's worked in the past when I get in a one-on-one program with somebody for more the internal work is just by talking to them intuitively, I know exactly where to go. It's not as much of a linear process. There are linear steps, right? Like bedtime routine, morning routine, these kind of basic things, but those kind of just come naturally through conversation.
Yeah, you need like a 3-step process.
Yeah.
You need a 3-step process that you could like pen as a mechanism. So like, what's, you know, loosely like, what would just like a rough 3-step process look like in a time frame?
Mm-hmm.
I've been
First,
reaching
you gotta,
out.
yeah.
I've been reaching out founders, software engineers, and I could tell that those kind of people, they want tangible steps and very like thing like energy. What do you mean? Like, what is gonna help me, right? Like, it's better to talk to them in a way that profit probability is in a more like tangible results instead of talking to them in a more broad way. They are more skeptical. They're not so like they're more like, who are you? Like, where are you reaching out? What's your, so yeah, keep that in mind to craft your offer.
Appreciate that. Yeah, that's good insight.
At the end of the day, if you have a mechanism, so it's you get 3 steps. And it's funny, I was just at a meal just now with a bunch of entrepreneurs. This guy had 8,000 followers, and he was just struggling. He was on a sales call, and the guy was like, "Why didn't I just go on ChatGPT and get all this stuff right?" And I was like, "Well, do you have a mechanism?" And he was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Do you have like a process?" He was like, "Oh, I have these 3 S's, you know, and these steps, sun, and like something else. Like he had these things." And I was like, "Okay, did you tell him that like what that these you walk him through these steps? Did you name the mechanism, like the 3S method or something?" Because now, if he says, I'll just go chat GPT, you just say to him, like, you don't even have to say it. Like, he can't go and get the 3S method from ChatGPT because ChatGPT's never heard of it. So, like, as soon as you have a mechanism, it makes you more believable, and it makes you, they can only get that thing from you. It's like, if they want the mechanism, to solve the mechanism, they're like, this is how I'm going to increase my energy. It's like, it sounds like an airy fairy thing, which I think personally, energy is the most important thing. Most important business decision you can ever make is like figuring out how to increase your energy. So for me, I'm already sold on the idea of energy. But like, let's say, for example, the person's a little bit like, I don't know, not 100% in already. It's like, energy, how am I going to increase my energy, Jack? You're like, we have this process, bang, bang, bang,
Yeah.
bang, bang. The mechanism name is this. It's called the energy maxing fucking protocol, or like the Moses method, or whatever it is. Now it's like, it's more believable. And then once you have that mechanism, I would then have a conversation with Eric about putting that into an offer, get him to basically like handle as much of the back end stuff on that as possible if he's interested, and possibly growth partner it, and yeah, launch the fuck out of it.
I think it's a good idea. Yeah, I mean, the 3 steps that I can see that I have taken people through kind of unconsciously is like, step 1 is self-understanding. I actually did this with Eric on a coaching call, right? We looked at your astrology, we looked at your numerology, we looked at your childhood, we looked at what makes you you and what makes you unique, and understanding what's that authentic frequency, because that's where your energy is going to come from. It's from living in authenticity. Then it's clarity and direction. There could be a lot of journaling prompts, meditations, those type of things, which I already have. And then step 3 would be vitality protocol, staying in the high energy aligned frequency. So I could see that piecing together well. But yeah.
And then tying it to something like revenue. I mean, what's crazy is if you can help people understand, if you can sell people on the idea that like increasing the frequency is not only possible, but 100% required to go to the next level in business,
Yeah.
in life in general. Because one thing I'm noticing about being in Bali is like, the person with the highest energy wins. And I don't mean like people aren't in competition with each other here, but they're like, I want that. I don't even want more money. I want that. I want what he's got. I want that energy. I want that
Right.
happiness, basically.
That's right.
Right.
It outranks everything. It trumps everything. Like it's that's it. That frequency, and it magnetically attracts everything you want, makes everything feel easy. So if you can sell people on that and help them believe that, you know, increasing your frequency is the key to reaching the next level in your personal development as a high performer. You know, you've got the money, you've got the maybe you've even, you might even have the girl, you've got whatever it is, you've got all these things you thought you wanted, but you're still not.
Something is missing, right? Like something is off there.
Yeah, you almost feel like possibly a bit depressed, maybe a bit depressed. Why am I not satisfied? Why am I not fulfilled? Why do I still feel like other guys who make less than me have more mojo than me, have more spark? Like, what's going on? Like, I thought I was meant to have everything by now. And actually, the thing that's missing is to go to the next level in your development. It's not about making more money. It's about getting more energy. It's about living life with, more more
Aura.
drive, more
Aura.
aura, yeah, aura, more magnetism. You know, the things that make it easy. And if you can help people understand that, it's the most valuable fucking offer I think you can put out in the market. To be honest,
Appreciate that insight a lot. Yeah. I mean, how I see it, Eric, again, we'll talk about it, but like, I think you could hammer outreach for it, for my brand. Like once the offer's clear, once the offer doc is created, because the one thing I don't want to fucking do that lowers my energy is like outreach. I don't like it. Right. I'd rather spend the time creating. I'd rather spend the time creating, sharing, speaking, and creating that. It's the same thing. It's the magnetic aura to attract things into me. But I also see the mechanism of the outreach is important too.
Look, even for you that have a lot of followers and probably a really good brand, it's necessary for you as well to reach out, right? So that means that in any stages, we need to outreach, we need to DM people as well, right?
Yeah, like
Because
I even
one
know
idea that we have,
Dan Co was running outreach even like very recently, just for some perspective too.
it never stops, boys. Like it's sometimes, I mean, this is just the perspective. Sometimes if I wake up, I'm like, what's the highest leverage thing I can do today? Sometimes it's not even post content. It's like, who can I talk to today? I can make one, I can send one DM. I've got an idea. Would you be interested in hearing about it? Within a few days, you know, we could have a lot more money in our bank account, you know? And that's the reality, is like these conversations, like being a person and not just a weird artist that just, you know, we need to be the artist, but, you know, being the person who's actually like making things happen, reaching out to people, having conversations, that person always wins, you know. And it helps if you're a master of your craft and you're really good at what you do, but being good for people and having that like initiative of who to talk to on a daily basis, like that's making me more money at the moment than anything. It's just messaging the right person on the right time. That's usually the first thing I do, is who do I need to speak to today to move the needle? And then after that, it's all creative work.
Right. Fuck yeah. Cool. Thank you for that, dude. I really appreciate it.
Of course, man. Anytime. I really appreciate the invitation, and I thought it was a cool chat. I love talking about this stuff. Like this is what it's all about, really. You know, hanging out with building cool shit with cool people, hanging out, talking about the things you enjoy, geeking out on fucking marketing and like even just stuff like outreach, messaging, offers, funnels, like all this stuff that like a few years ago I thought was boring as hell. You know, we can really come in here and chop it up in a way that's like not bro marketer bullshit.
Yeah, you gotta love the game. Like you have to love the game. And that's what I feel like I'm getting back into now.